everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Real Talk Vlogs with Steve and Jack. And on this week's upload, for your listening pleasure on your Friday morning or afternoon commute, we are going to be talking to none other than AZeuros' Audi drift driver, Austin. We're also going to talk about the recent road trip that I took from Missouri to Virginia in a 1986 CRX. And we're going to talk about some drifting, some grassroots drifty boys out at Swing Set Drift in Shenandoah Valley. And finish things off with chill. Oh, I'm sorry?
I said that event was chill.
Dude, that event was lit. Like 4 banks, half mile oval. It was sick. We'll get more into that. And we're going to talk 2022 RS3 and some very interesting facts that you might not know about other cars that you could roam around and surprise on the street. So, without any further ado, I guess, let's get into this week's podcast. Steve,
what's up?
How are you today?
Yo, I am really good, man. I'm coming down on the tail end of a pretty good week. Been pretty busy. I am rolling out tomorrow afternoon up to Ohio to pick up the Laser S4. So I've been planning on that, and I, like you, was surprised with the RS3 lap times, and but yeah, it's been a good week, man. Been a good week.
Fantastic. I think my video just dropped out. Yeah, it did. No worries. I'm gonna keep talking.
Roll it to it, buddy.
Alright. So, Virginia, dude. Sorry, I just had an ADD. My brain just went blank when my screen went kaput.
Right. Yo, I'm glad you came out, man. And for 900 plus miles that you drove one direction, to only have the fuel filter issue, I think it was a success, a rounding success.
Definitely an overall win. You know, it could have gone so much worse. Like, I could have had a half a dozen other issues, you know, but let's be real. It's a 1986 CRX, 1.5 liter, carbureted. What's going to go wrong with it?
Yo, like, HF for the win. You're gone, bud. And Jack is gone.
Oh, you're still there.
Hey, are you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
I explained to the listening world that you were gone, but you weren't. You're here.
I'm here. For whatever reason, my GoPro's being stupid tonight. I think I might upgrade on the next podcast from a GoPro to an actual webcam. Might have to be a thing, because...
Oh, okay. All right, look at you, fancy boy.
Well, it is what it is. You know, I had a beautiful scenery. I got this, like, ring, but we're getting off topic. The Missouri...
The Virginia trip, bro. We were talking about the Virginia trip, and you bringing the CRX out.
Right. We had a giveaway. Some of you might not know, on my channel, on my page, on my Instagram page. I did a giveaway for best MPG.
Yeah.
Closest to guessing the MPG. Sorry.
Yo, and given the fuel filter issues and the drastic drop in expected fuel economy because of that, we had 2 winners. We had 36.1 miles to the gallon was the official tally at the end of the trip.
Damn! Our 2 lucky winners, just as a quick recap, was The Rowdy Audi and TGriff365. Huge shout out to both of you guys for actually hitting the nail on close to the head as possible. You know, I was worried that it might come down to those decimal guys, but no one got that technical on us.
Yeah, so. It was a good mix though. Good mix.
So Shenandoah is lit. A half a mile oval with 4 banks. That place gets rowdy real quick.
I don't think it's a half mile. Is it that long?
I think it's a half mile track.
Okay. But anyway, 4 banks, plenty of infield. The thing I love about it, man, is the setup for the media guys. So, like, you and I didn't have a car. I don't have a drift car that I would take anyway. But I go down and shoot photos, and Jason's like, hey, man, bring a vest. and don't be a dumbass in the infield. Don't get yourself hurt. Sign this waiver, and you get all the viewpoints you could ask for.
All access. It doesn't matter what it is, anywhere. Like, there's 3 points on the inside that you can get, and then there's shipping containers which you can get on top of, which is pretty dope.
Yeah,
because,
that's
like,
they always end up being a good vantage point, and like he changes the track layout just about every event or rotates between a set, and but the top of shipping containers always turn out to be a good spot.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna work? I just did some things. Turn it back on. Sorry, I'm talking over my GoPro right now.
No, I gotcha. Yo, this is the benefit of not doing it live and having that moments we can edit. He's gone. He's gone, folks. What's up, Jack?
What's up, Steve?
You know, you came back from the dead, man.
Is it echoing on your end?
No.
Okay, good. That means it won't record in an echo. Alright. You want to see it? Yeah, that's what that was.
What's up?
I wish I had it. Oh, dude, we've had some technical difficulties, you know.
All good.
Yeah, there's some crazy weather conditions here in Missouri. Yeah, it's probably it was probably yours when you flew over, you dropped it off on us on the way here. You know, jet stream things.
Yeah, jet stream things.
So,
Welcome to the East Coast, sir.
What's that?
I said, welcome to the East Coast.
Yes. Yes, it's pleasantly cooler here than Arizona, but humid and still hot.
Yeah, it's bearable at best.
Yeah, it's way better than Arizona in my opinion.
how does it feel feeling that bougie Jersey Shore life?
Not at Jersey Shore yet, so I'm just outside of Philly in Sickerville.
Okay, I have no idea where that.
Yeah, it's basically Philly. Everybody wears Eagle shirts here, and begging me to have a cheesesteak. So,
Hey, have one for me. I would love to have an OG Philly cheesesteak. That sounds great.
I'm waiting for it. I told him tomorrow.
Nice. All right, well, for our listening audience and the viewers on YouTube, this is Austin. Austin, you know what? Here, we'll just let you introduce. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? You know, they kind of know a little bit already about Audi'S, Drifty Boy things,
Yeah.
but I'll leave all the cool stuff up to you. Like, how badass do you want to be tonight?
So, my name's Austin Phipps. I am the general manager of AZEUROS, well known for B5 chassis. We actually purchased Paul Walker's B5 S4 from Barrett Jackson last year and are going to do some fun upgrade stuff to it that kind of brings that old chassis up to like the new standards and the companies and that we work for. A few years ago, 2 years ago actually, I decided a crazy idea to rear-wheel drive swap a B5 S4 and try to take it as like just, honestly, it was just meant to be like a seat time, like party, have fun car. And it spiraled extremely quickly from there into being like this sponsored car that's well known across the world and is getting asked to go to all these different events. And we went to an invitational event, Grid Life, which Rowdy Out of You attended there, and we had an absolute blast. The car ran all weekend with no mechanical issues, and now it's spiraled into, well, what's next for my personal program, sponsored by AZEUROS, is to run 2 cars in 2022. So
That's cool.
now we're going to take like everything that I've learned on the chassis and that, keep it in that chassis, apply it, tweak it, make it something that's like more of like a recipe for B5 owners to say, hey, this is like the couple items that you really need. This is like what will make it even more fun to drive. And then my car, my personal comp car, will just be absolutely nuts. So nitrous, and we're shooting for like 800 horsepower and big tires and crazy wide body and kind of over the top car, but something that we can travel across the country. That's the ultimate goal. Go to clutch kickers, go to some of these like nationally known televised events, and just get Audi race cars period out into the world and into drifting. So it's me.
Right on. Yo, I'm down with 2 cars. I have a Garage Queen and one that's never running, so essentially the same thing, right?
Absolutely. My purely sense was like I've gotten so much sponsorship and helping out with the car with great products. I have even more sponsors that want to come in and help on board. So building another car, the car that I have now is an X Lemons car. So I wouldn't say the cage is like perfect to drift spec. It's a little big, it's a little heavy for what it is. There's some little tweaks and stuff on the car that like building the car in hindsight, like I probably would have done differently. So I made the decision instead of purchase or redoing this car, it was more off to purchase a car that I had available to me to local that had a cage in it that was a little bit better done, and kind of a fresh slate, build that car, and then instead of just throwing away like the motor and the transmission and everything that's like okay and good on the car now for replacement, rebuilt, new items, instead of like putting those in the shed or getting rid of it, selling it for pennies on the dollar, it would be way more fun to have more Audi drift cars in the world. So with some help of the techs and that I have at AZEUROS is to bring it, keep it alive, if you will. I literally ran an event last Saturday just to show that like the car went through 3 days of abusive driving. We had it was 3 sessions a day, so we had 9 sessions of drifting, hour sessions with pro drivers and that, and the car never broke, never gave me a mechanical issue. And I purely wanted to go out to another event just to take a ton of ride-alongs and again just prove that an Audi can be a very reliable, especially in a race situation, drift car. So we kind of proved that. I mean, I think I got a little bit of a head gasket failure, not that the car's overheating or mixing coolant, it's just on boost the cooling system is like pressurizing, so somehow it's getting pressure in there. So I think it's just kind of lifting ahead, and we'll get it remedied and ready to go here. I think we got 3 weeks. We got a 3-day drift event, so we'll be ready to go by then.
Right on. That's a quick turn schedule, man. That's
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like I've always said on this program and what I'm doing is like I'm riding this wave. I mean, I built the car for myself. I just wanted something. When I started in drifting in 2010 and doing Pro-Am and that, I was doing an E30. And back then, like a BMW drift car was financially ridiculous to try to even comprehend. I mean, E36s were still like couple-year-old cars. I mean, that was still an expensive, luxurious car, if you will. And I went out and did it. So I was one of the first BMW drift cars in the U.S. And definitely one of the first E30 drift cars in the U.S. So I always liked having something different. Now I was trying to compete with like a stock. The M20 engine comes in those things, and they don't make any power, and they're
right.
Old, rocker designed head. They're just older. So I always liked drifting something different, and I've learned through my like drifting career of over 10 years. I've tried to build street cars, and honestly, it's fun, but it's not as much fun for me. So when you get to the track, like drifting is all about tandeming and getting, putting the pressure on the other car, but then saying, like, if a guy just goes out and he is just an absolute monster and lays down this gnarly run, if you can hang with him and keep that proximity with him, it's like, dude, I'm just as gnarly as you are. Like, and with it being already caged, that's what kind of like took me to like, well, I can go out and I can at least go tandem with other dudes in my Audi drift car. And even if I totally suck, like at least I can get in the tandem line, I can get more runs. It was just like one of these things that just, I built the car to go have fun. And from literally video 1 of me saying, hey guys, we went out and did it, the car actually slides through a corner under power. Linking is a totally different story, but like if I had an 034 sway bar, if I had this part, I think it would be better. And it literally just snowballed from there. 034 is like, Audi drift car, like that's wild. Sure, we'll give you a sponsorship. And then it like snowballed from there. So I'm still running that today. Like I said, I have so many sponsors that have reached out, so many people that want to come on board and help me. From Grid Life and the media exposure that I got from Grid Life, it doesn't make sense for me to like kind of throw one car to the side to build another one. It's like, sure, I should just keep going forward too. So I keep riding this wave, man.
Right on. Well, we're definitely gonna get it on our schedule as far as race wars and stuff to come out to some of the events you guys are going to. Love following you for sure. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't wait for freaking Race Wars, and 2022 I plan to bring both cars out. So
Sick.
even Rowdy was like, I never really comprehended that, but Rowdy at Grid Life was like, dude, just come out and drag race it. I'm like, well, it won't be that fast. And he's like, it doesn't matter. Just go out and have fun. And I go, dang it, I should have like planned this better ahead and just gone and have fun.
Yo,
so.
as far as 2022
got
stuff,
a month.
yeah, you got a month.
I met up with the B5 freaks today, and they're like, you should go to Race Wars. Like, we're camping there. And I'm like, God, you guys are like, everybody's twisting my arm. So I promised them, as soon as I get back Tuesday morning, I will try to come to some plan of making it there and put in the solid effort to try to go this year.
Dude, that's crazy.
Alright. I'm going to instigate this just a tad bit. So, Kill Car Raceway, it is an hour and a half, 2 hours from Marion County.
Mm-hmm.
Every year for the last 3 years now, they've had an event the same weekend Race Wars is.
Okay.
I'm fixing mine right now. You've seen that on the
Yeah, okay.
So I'm just saying. Then Eurodub or Dub Love, sorry, he's up in Wadsworth. He drifts 118s. Wadsworth is where ECS is.
Okay.
Well, not that FCP Euro wants you anywhere near that, but I'm just saying there are places that we can do drag racing things and drifting things. They're just not allowed in the staging lanes.
Right? Nah, not in the staging lanes.
No burnouts in the staging lanes.
No burnouts in the staging lanes.
There's none.
No, I'm hoping weather works out. You know, Race Wars, we always have terrible weather and stuff, but Saturday, if we get all the drag racing done Saturday, I'm planning on hitting up Kilcare on the way out on Sunday to see try to hook up with the track, because they have a drag facility and a drift track, road course stuff. So like, if we can grow to the point where we can get a venue that has both activities and go that road, that'd be amazing. But you know, baby steps. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Big parachute in the middle. Big parachute. All right, so I gotta ask real quick. 2022, like, are you planning on coming out? Is the East Coast in 2022 schedule?
It is at the end of the year. So my ultimate goal with 2022, really, as of right now, is to obviously have both cars ready to go 100%. My goal is actually December 4th is Field Fest in Phoenix. I want to unveil both cars because I have some new sponsors coming on board, some new partnerships with new sponsors. So I kind of want to like unveil the program, and it's perfect because it's right at the end of the year going into 2022. 2022, my main goal, like this year was like Grid Life, and that kind of came fruition is like the car's doing decent, I'm doing decent driving. Like if I get into Grid Life, huge win. Got into Grid Life, did great. So huge win this year. Next year, my ultimate goal is just to go and compete at Clutch Kickers. I think Clutch Kickers, or the idea of Clutch Kickers or series like that where a grassroots guy like myself can go run doors with a pro guy and have the ability to win money that would at least cover my traveling expenses. You know, with motorsports, and especially amateur motorsports, you're never going to become rich. You're never going to like increase your bank account. But as long as you can go about it smart, in my opinion, and try to lessen the bank account blow, pending, brake stuff and tire and fuel and all that stuff, and entry fees and traveling costs, if you could recoup 90% of that, like that's a huge win for me. So Clutch Kickers gives that ability with a 10K payout per round. So if I was to send the car across, pay for everything, if I won the event, like I would come back home and be like, holy crap, I just went all the way across the country, competed, and like my bank account's not showing negative amount, you know what I mean? So that's my ultimate goal. I just want to go to a round, or want to go to a round of Clutch Kickers. If I get knocked out in top 64 is what they do, I will go home with head high, because it's a logistical, for an independent program like myself, logistically wise, trying to get the car across the country is the biggest feat. So that's my goal. 2023, at least I'll have some like history of like what it takes to send the car across country, and then yes, East Coast swing, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Everything you just said there is something that I've been contemplating myself. Building the LSA powered Audi, building it specifically as a competition car first. not a party car, something that let's go. And in my mind, it was like, well, if I'm going to build a competition car, I got to figure out a spec of a class at least to like build it to.
Right.
And, and then you add in their operating costs. How do you keep it relatively cheap to maintain? And do you fear any of that maintenance cost with running a 2.7? And what, like, as far as a spec of a class, where do you get a rule book for clutch kickers? Is that a thing? Like, oh, here's your rule book. It's relatively the same as Pro Spec or, I just forgot the second class. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, like Pro Spec or FD, yeah. So
Yeah.
Clutch Kickers does, and the beautiful thing about Clutch Kickers is really they're looking for like a rear-wheel drive car that's not, obscenely crazy in any sense, meaning like a weird electrical powertrain or a rear engine. Like basically, as long as the car falls into safety rules and some minimum requirements and that's basically what they're looking for. So to give a spectrum of what Clutch Kickers is as a series, 2 rounds ago, a stock E30, an M20 with 100 horsepower, 15-inch tires, door bars, went out and competed with Taylor Hall, a pro Cadillac 900 horsepower LS that goes to 9,000 RPM, 305 tires, like ridiculous car. And in top 64, he gave a good run to these pro guys because he's so slow. So they're on the same track, they have the same judging requirements. They're going into the corner at 30 miles an hour with this pro car with 305 tires on it. It's not used to drifting at 30 miles an hour. They're at 70, 80. So to try to adjust their driving and still do a decent lead, and then, decent follow. I mean, their lead run is going to be uncomparable. The M20 is going to be like miles behind. But in a chase is what really equals all of it. So the track is designed as a decently fast entry, but you scrub off a lot of speed, and then it's all technical through there. So once you can gain on a pro driver's door, as long as you can cut that corner and like maintain proximity, you have the ability to win. And case in point to that is Taylor Ray, which is a good YouTuber. He has a 500 horsepower LS3 Auto. Like, not anything wild in the sense it's got great power to weight ratio and all that stuff, but it's just an LS3. He doesn't have like this crazy built motor. The car's not over the top. It still runs 15 to 16-inch tires, but he is competitive with pro guys, and he actually won this last series, this last event. So he took home $10,000, and he knocked out 2 or 3 pro guys through the rounds. That's huge. Like, that is huge bragging rights. That is the like epitome of amateur motorsports, is go up to pro guys and compete with them, let alone win, on a turf that makes it fair for everybody. So as far as traveling, I mean, absolutely. Like, I've tried to, when building this car, build it as simple as possible for that reason, to travel. I've always known that like Arizona doesn't give multiple tracks. I have to travel. So I have to have the ability to either drive the car across the country on an open trailer, or put it on a transport and send it, and like be able to have a jug or two of like spare parts or things that I would need. Now, knock on wood, I've never had any major mechanical issues aside from Vegas when I was snapping diffs, but hopefully I've remedied that with a B6 upgrade. But as far as good life, we went 3 days without an issue. So that is a good foundation for me to go.
Hell yeah,
Clutch Kickers is next. There's no difference between Colorado and Florida as long as I spent 2.5 weeks till 2 in the morning going over every nut and bolt and wiring, and like anything stupid or anything that was like questionable, I'd rather address it now than on my back in Colorado. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that paid off, and that again is just giving more fuel. The waves getting bigger, and it's like I gotta keep going. So
with 2 cars, you're towing 2 cars. I gotta ask, what engine's in the van?
The van is priority right after the 2 cars are functional, and that's a 6-liter LS for sure. It's already got the 4L80, it's already 8 lug, it's already a 2500 HD, but it only came with the old Vortec headed tune port. Actually, I don't even think it's tune port, it's that spider port, or spider injection 5.7, so. But no, so the whole plan is like to send the car to Clutch Kickers, and if it's still in port or something like that, and there's a local event that pops up, I always have a backup car. Or say if I like go out and I'm testing the comp car and I'm literally like everything, every check sign, every hotel set, everything's for clutch kickers, and I slam the comp car in a wall, or somebody hits me, or I throw the rod at the side of the block. The whole point is like if I have a backup car, I can just go. Now it won't be as cool and competitive and all that stuff, but both cars will be built to an equal level, and I will still drive both cars. I just primarily will drive the comp car, and my ultimate goal with motorsports and racing is I've always wanted to be a crew chief. I've always wanted to be a crew chief on a pro team, and my one way of getting to that is to build a car that somebody doesn't normally build. That's why the car has air ride suspension on it. I didn't know what spring rates to run, and the last I wanted to be doing as any motorsports is the only way to get better as a driver is to actually drive. So I don't want to work on the car as much at track. In between track events, I wanted to work on the car, but at the track, I just wanted to drive. So if the car was loose or tight or needed a suspension adjustment, a simple air change to the air springs was a lot easier to do than take the whole coilover apart, change the spring, change the height of the spring, like go through all of this R&D process where a quick air adjustment or spinning the coil up and down can achieve a lot of that stuff. So while it's not maybe the perfect system long term, it is something that I use and utilize as a tool. But that's my ultimate goal. So like Matt at AZEUROS is going to be running the other car. He's going to help me build the two cars, which spreads out my time more, which allows me to basically build two cars and maintain two cars. But in doing that, my goal is to have him drive because he's drifted before. He wants to build another drift car. He has the opportunity through me to lessen that blow of building another car. But like I'll go spot for him if he wants to go comp. I mean, this is all like really falling around the road. But if he wants to go comp in that, I will be his crew chief. I will be a spotter. I will help him with sponsorship. I will give him every tool that he needs. And in turn, it's still my car. It's still my program. So like Rowdy, if you came out to Phoenix and the car's ready and there isn't a local event, dude, you're more than welcome to. There's gonna be no keys, but hop in it and like go drive. That's my whole plan. Is like the white car is supposed to be something that like somebody could replicate. So you big smile on your face. You go out and you drive it, and you're like, dang, I want to build a B5 now. Or if you come out, we take it to Race Wars and give some ride-alongs to that, and they're like, I want to build this car. Like it's not gonna be something that's so obscene that somebody can't replace it. The comp car is gonna be kind of crazy.
So funny story for you real quick. We're going to interject. You've seen we went to Shenandoah out to Virginia, right? First, like 2/3 of the way through my night, I was having this itch. I'm like, man, I want to drive. I was starting to ask people, like, what's the rental rate? What's the rental rate?
Yeah.
I got one guy told me he'd give me his hard body for $100, right? I was like, that's not bad. I would have probably taken him up on it if it wasn't a little sloshed already. But the real is party cars are a thing, and that's something that I've already been talking to Steve about, like putting together a 1.8 TB5 and just leaving it in the valley. Our boy Fred has some property, and I'm like, man, hey, we're out there for the weekend. They want to go screw around. A 1.8T is a really easy chassis to play with. It's not it's more power than a Miata.
Correct. And see, that's the thing is like in something like that, balancing it. So running 205, 295s, like it doesn't need to be fast. It doesn't need to be super gripped up. If it made a ton of smoke and it was easy to drive, those are the two things that like make a party car awesome. If you make 900 horsepower and you're running on like a 225 tire and the car is easy to drive, people are going to be way more excited than a 1,000 horsepower car that's all gripped up and hard to. I've experienced that. So I'm always trying to like push the level of the chassis. So I've dialed in grip like crazy on the car, and the car is so wicked fast that like people don't like tandeming with me, and it's hard for me to follow them because I run into situations where like the car is too gripped up. If they slow down, I'm too gripped up and I'm hitting the clutch, or I'm trying to keep the car happy, or vice versa. Like I suck up on them too fast, and then I got to back off, and then it looks like I don't know how to drive basically. So I've learned to like loosen up the car. Yeah, so like I see a lot of kids and go out and they're like, oh man, my favorite YouTuber, he's running 225s or like some ridiculous tire, and I gotta run the tire pressure at 20 psi. No, like I remember I built a E30. It was a Euro car with an ADA motor in it. So ADA in BMWs is like a 4,700 RPM rev limit, 2.7 liter. It's like a stroke. It's like basically like a mini diesel converted to gas. So it's purely economy. What's that?
Nothing. I had a hiccup.
So it's purely like a super torquey economy motor. So it didn't make any power. 100 horsepower if it's lucky. Now probably 150, 200 foot-pounds of torque. So it was torquey. So I ran that car on 175 14s with cut springs, and my ex-girlfriend drove it. That car, I hopped in it, was so much freaking fun to drive because it would just annihilate the 175s. It actually produced a decent amount of smoke. You could e-brake forever, like you just basically go as fast as you could in the corner. E-brake, e-brake, e-brake to slow down a little bit, and then you just smack the clutch and annihilate the 175s, and you just coast through. Like, it just looked, and it was so much fun to drive. Like, you'd build up so much speed in the 175s, kind of like hooking up. It was the same thing. Like, I just remember, like, working the e-brake like it was, like, gas pedal. Like, it was just so much fun to drive. And I'm trying to, like, replicate that in something that's easy to drive, that somebody can go have fun in, and cost. Keeping tires and all that stuff down so that I can go out and do 4 or 5 laps in a day or a night and, you know, always have that rhythm, always have that practice. The car, as of right now, I'm getting 3 laps in most tracks on one set of brand new tires.
A track like on
it's hurting me, man. Like, I took 24 tires to Grid Life and I annihilated every single one of them.
Yo, so you're telling me what you need is if you had a tire sponsor, somebody like, say, maybe Simple Tire or Tire Rack, you know, it would make them cost a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would make driving available, especially cross country. Again, that's the big thing. I can't take 20 tires to an event. Like, the van is gonna struggle with all those, like, wheels and tires and fuel. Like, that was the thing is like, that van struggled going to Colorado because I took like 60 gallons of fuel and 30 gallons of meth and 24 wheels and tires. I took spare starter, I had a spare diff, I had a spare trans in the van. I took spare everything because the last thing I wanted to do is show up to Grid Life in an Audi and brake and not drive. Like,
parts.
Yeah, FCP was like, I want to do the interview thing, and then they're like, so how's the car been? And I was like, it's been great. I put tires and fuel in it. And they're like, no, really? Like, how's it been? And I go, no, that's how it's been. I realized that. I was like, holy crap, I haven't touched this thing. I put tires and fuel in it. And they're like, for an Audi, like, at the track, no other Audi on property had, like, no issues. So
that's that 2.7 life.
Yeah, and again, simplifying. It's mathless. It doesn't have an intercooler. It doesn't, you know, it runs on basic, you know, inputs and things like that. So it's simplified. You know, radiators in the back, and so I don't have to worry about. I remember in my E30 back in the day, I took there was a rear-wheel drive swap Subi in front of me in Texas or in Las Vegas for a competition, and we were during practice right before qualifying. He dipped off track a little bit and threw a softball-sized chunk of track right through my front bumper, right into my radiator. And I had traveled, like, I was working at, like, Discount Tire. Like, I was a young kid making $12, $13 an hour, I think, at the time, which was, you know, decent money. But I was struggling to get to these events and try to compete. You know, the car wasn't all one body color. Like, I was a grassroots guy. So the fact that I had just driven, you know, I think it's like 5-6 hours and spent all this money, got a hotel and all that, and I'm like, literally don't even get to qualify because of a chunk of track coming off and hitting me. That's why the radiator's in the back of the car. I mean, it's partly weight wise, but I think of all this stuff like, this is a B5. Drifted a lot before. Who knows? Maybe at high speed it doesn't like the weight of the front end, and I just plow it into a wall. Well, my thought process was, if there's not as much stuff up front, intercoolers, things like that, then if I do stuff it in a wall, as long as timing belt's okay, just keep going. Like, at least you can keep running that event. You know, in Colorado, if I would have smacked something, I could have kept going. So, this is the way I build it. Simple.
No, dude, I get that. I'm actually having this debacle right now because on, like, the LSA car, in the front of it, they sit. I will say flat out, you know, I can put it there. I don't have to stick it in the back of the car. And I'm like, man, this is some bull. Like, where do you, for simple sakes, I'm just sticking it in the front. It fits. I'm putting it all. My whole thing is the fact that I'm putting an LSA under the hood. I don't have to cut a hole. Like, I think that's funny.
Yep.
At the same time, though, I envy you, man. I really do envy you. Because, like, the fact you are running a 2.7, like, oh, there are so many Audi drifters out there now, I feel like you are living all of our dreams for us. And you know what?
The thing is like the
Big love for
2.7
it, man.
is
Big love. I can't
expensive.
to see where future takes you, and you know, I hope I'm there to watch it and document it. You know,
Yeah.
This won't be the my bad.
No, absolutely. And I mean that the 2.7 I think is like, I wish it wasn't so wide so people could put it in other chassis, but it's really good. I mean, out of the box they make 500 horsepower. You put rods in them, they'll take more. They're 5-valve head. They sound unique. Parts are, you know, there's a lot of aftermarket for them. Like you look at all these like VQs and, you know, SRs and that. Well, there's a lot of aftermarket for them. They don't really make any power. Like this motor is known to make good power, and they were readily available in the S4, you know, A6, all road. Like they came in a couple different chassis, so you had the ability for them. I don't think that they're a bad engine. You probably won't like to hear this, but I think VR is in the future and the future, unfortunately. Because like I literally drove a 2021 Atlas home from Azeuros one night, and I was driving along, and this like light bulb went off in my head. Volkswagen is still producing a 3.6 liter V6 in 2021. In 10 to 20 years, we're going to go to junkyards and pull VR6s out of cars. In 10 years, we're not going to find 2.7s. And I hate to say that, but like that's the reality of me as a amateur or like entrepreneur in that. I have to think about like what's the 10, 15, 20 year goal. And if I'm still going to run a B5 chassis or still run a VAG car, I have to think about what the motor is in, you know, 5-10 years, and build a package now, because then in 10 years when some kid comes to me and is like, I've always wanted to build an Audi drift car, okay, VR6.
Right.
I can't say that, but it's the reality, I think, of things. I love the 2.7. It will stay in the car as long as humanly possible.
Dude, it's a good engine. I've beat the living piss out of one, and I know you have.
Yeah,
we know sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, so we can all sit here.
Guilty.
I was just getting ready to say, from a swap point of view, what would you rate a 2.7? Like overall, because I consider the 2.7 my LS.
Yeah.
You know, I love that engine, and I've contraptualized some pretty crazy ideas. I think it'd be cool to bastard up an E36 and put one in there. I think it'd sit behind the towers. It'd be a very interesting balance. I think putting one in a Miata would be cool too. Maybe put one in a Mug.
It's the thing, like lengthwise, they're super compact. They're just really wide. That's the only thing that kills them, is that they're really wide. And the single turbo help.
But hey, I've got an LS sitting where a 2.7 was, and the measure, dude, there's any place you can put an LS, you can put a 2.7. That's my theory.
Especially single turbo. Now with the twin turbos and them packed down below, that gets a little tight with plumbing and everything, and heat and everything else. The single turbo makes it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I haven't gotten to the single turbo life yet. My F21Bs are still kicking. Franken Turbo makes some good stuff. Yeah. Like those guys, 10 years old. So, and they've glowed a few times. But hey, Steve and I have a game that we are going to play. We're going to try this. It's called Trivia Time, and we are going to test your Audi brand flex game here. So we're going to see what your mind is like.
The questions aren't that long, but we got a couple here for you.
Yeah.
So I went on to a website. This is going to be one of those hashtag not sponsored borrowed moments from 0to60times.com, and they have a quiz on there that you can take based on the brand. Cool. So Steve has got some of these questions, and I might ask one or two. We're gonna no. Steve, you got them up, or
I do. You got your thinking brain on there, Austin?
Yeah, we're gonna nervous. This is the fact that I work for AZEURO.
So. We're gonna start off super easy for you.
Okay.
We're gonna give you 4 answers to choose from, so you don't have to dig deep. It's like multiple choice, pick C or whatever. What is Audi's all-wheel drive system branded as? 4MATIC, 4Motion, X-Drive, or Quattro?
Quattro for sure.
Ding, ding, ding.
Answer.
I don't have a solid reaction.
I can name off all the other ones too if you really want to. We're talking about flex.
Right.
I'm way too cocky in the first question.
All right. Which of the following has been an Audi slogan? The power of dreams, drivers wanted, there is no substitute, or never follow?
I got way too cocky on the first one. I think Drivers Wanted.
Before we answer this, you're wrong, but I did not even know this. Do you know this, Steve?
I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I felt pretty strong in the first one as well, and then I clicked to the second one, and I was not so strong. But the answer is Never Follow.
Which,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I thought the same thing.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
I'm always down with Vorsprung der Technik. You know, that's in there for strong.
You know, the screwed up thing about it is, I feel like that kind of fits Audi people's mentality. Like, because here, it takes a fucked up person to mod one of these things.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You gotta be an enthusiast. You don't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna modify my Audi. You gotta be like,
Right.
Yo, do you ever wonder why there's so many Audi builds that are built and then immediately sold?
Yes.
Yes. All right, on to the questions before we get depressed here. What does RS in Audi RS models represent? Racing sport, racing spirit, rally spirit, or rally sport?
I think it's Rally Sport. I want to say it's Rally Sport.
Is that the final answer? Oh.
He already knows that one's wrong. I'm too quick on the draw.
Well, I know it's wrong, but the only other thing I can think of is Race Spirit?
Racing sport.
Sport, okay.
Racing sport. All right. When was
wait, did you fucking tally here?
what? Yo, he's got one correct so far. I've only asked 3, so we're not gonna judge too early here. He's got a long way to go.
All right.
When was the R8 GT Spider first on sale in the U.S.? 2013, 2011, 2010, or 2012?
I'm gonna go 2011, and I think I'm pretty confident on that one.
Close, but no.
Well, wasn't it?
Correct. 2012.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I know it came out in 10. I figured it only took 1 year to do the Spider.
No. You know, I got that one wrong when I did this answer too. I thought it was 2010, but then I went back and I was like, wait, no, they were all hard tops for like a couple years. Because then when they bring out the Spider, they brought out the V10.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
That's
what
no.
I
I
thought.
think you can get 11 V10. That's why I thought it.
Maybe that's what it was, and then in 12 you could get both or one or the other.
Yeah.
All
right. Which 2014 Audi does not offer a V8? An S6, an A8L, an S4, or an S7?
You work at a service center, sir, so you should know this.
Yeah. What year again? Sorry, just to make sure.
2014. 2014.
S4.
Correct. Yo, he's 2 for 4. He's up to not quite passing. When was Audi founded? 1948, 1909, 1899, or 1926?
Would you like to phone a friend?
Yeah, I really would, to be honest. So I remember Auto Union. I want to say the 40s. Whatever that one was.
1948.
I'm going to just go a little earlier. Like as early as you can go. 1909.
1909.
Audi was formed, and then Audi went out of business, and then Audi was brought back as part of Auto Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's alright, man.
Or, you know.
I am the one, the way your son don't need.
This is one of the more surprising questions.
And I take everything Audi out of them.
Correct. I think we all do.
We're supposed to ask these questions too.
This is the last one I got on my list.
Good.
Which Audi has the quickest 0 to 60 time?
B5S4.
Well, facts. We all know that. Hey, we're talking about factory production crap here. But a 2008 R8, a 2007 S8, a 2013 RS5 convertible, or a 2013 S8?
2013 S8.
Facts.
Nice.
You know, the man
Funny.
gets a passing
Oh,
grade.
yeah, because I know old BMWs very well, and I know new Audis pretty well.
Right on.
Old Audis. I'm
That's
learning.
funny. Our the IT guy I deal with has an E36 M3 that is perfect. So I like those.
I love all 90s German cars.
Yeah, true. It's so true.
Oh, they're all so good. Good. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but you are not graduating on to the next round here with a score of 3-5. The house beats Austin on Audi Tech knowledge trivia.
Audi Flex trivia.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
okay,
don't
I
worry.
get told all the time with the mullet, I'm not going to pass anything anyway. The rebel.
Right on, man. Well, keep carrying on what you're doing, and we'll keep the following and supporting. And if you need more stickers,
I
I'll
appreciate
send them
all
out.
of the feedback and the unbelievable like response and that to what I'm doing. Again, I'm not doing it trying to be like Adam LZ or some famous YouTuber or famous anything. I like driving something unique, and I'm having a lot of fun setting this car up and like setting these chassis up and having fun doing a totally different motorsport than the common denominator. And I'm pulling guys in that like build show Audis and build Volkswagens and build like all this other cool stuff, and let's say C5, like all of the like not common stuff are all still like coming back and going, man, that's a really cool build, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys for having me on.
Right on.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being on, and looking forward to following your story in the future. I personally expect to bang doors with you. We will. It's going to happen when the time is right. Our paths will come up. So, once again, Austin, it was great talking to you, and
take this time to drop your socials for those that don't.
Sponsors you want to shout out? Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, like all my fans. I was with the B5 guys today, and they wanted me to sign both their cars. I mean, that's just like that's not the level I'm at yet, but I appreciate their support in knowing that I'm going to get to that point in my career or in my life. But yeah, AZEUROS, I absolutely couldn't have done this whole thing, wouldn't have been on here without you guys, introducing me to Audi's, introducing me to B5s, introducing me to, having a sponsor, and that will go out of their way to help me, as well as just, a great employer and a great company to work with. Brad at Get Watkins Tuning, absolutely. The S4, the 2.7 motor would not have happened without him. Single turbo wouldn't have happened without him. Just my full program, motor package, all that wouldn't have been possible without him. 034 Motorsports and Motool, they came on board again. Those guys that just like saw the wave was just starting, the ripple in the water was going to turn into a wave. So I really appreciate them coming on board early. IE, EBC Brakes, Motorsports Hardware, that's a wrap. The B5 Freaks, Marketplace E-Liquid, they've came on board and helped me get to events and plan on getting me to Clutch Kickers in that next year and helping my travel expenses. So I really appreciate all those guys. As well as, Rowdy Audi, you guys got a sticker on the car. So every sticker on the car is some kind of sponsorship. I got a couple photographers and stuff on the car because they just consistently come out and shoot the car. So I really, really appreciate everyone's help. And again, I'm super humble about the exposure and that the car is getting and my program is. And that just makes me want to work harder every single day, every moment of the day. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Well,
Thank
everybody
you,
that's
Austin.
following along, AZEUROS Austin on Instagram. Give him a follow.
Austin. Yep, absolutely. Yep. I might have to commission you for Steve for a at least a YouTube video, because dude, your car salesman / advertising pitch is just absolutely on point. So
Right. I'll bring the sales voice next
Yeah.
time.
I can do some AZEUROS commercials here in Arizona for you.
Right on the next big Cali road trip, we're gonna skip most of California, so I'll spend more time in Arizona.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. I'll have the cars ready for you.
Right on, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. It was good talking to you. We'll talk to you again.
All right.
All right.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye. Peace. Disconnect.
You can hang up, Austin.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, that's one of those learning lessons, man. I don't know how to like cut out somebody that's joined a call, but we'll figure that out.
I'm on my phone, so I'm like, I don't want to touch anything.
Oh, I got you, man. That's what's up. Yo, talking about Brad, he was throwing it out there. We will have Brad on as a guest in the near future to go over tuning challenges and issues that we see in the B5 community and things we want to see with more 2.7 tuning involved and the other bag cars. He's big involved with those guys, or everybody. So big shout out to him and continued support for the community. So our future guest. But on to motorsports, Audi in motorsports and production Audis and how fast they have gotten at the Nürburgring. Bro.
Dude, I've heard they're getting fast. Like, it's a bit sketch.
Alright, so before we go out and saying that the RS3 is the world's fastest car ever, it's not. Okay. Out of the box, they're pretty stout though. Modified, they're insane. To start out, we'll give you a list of the top 3 production cars at the Nürburgring right now. This is as of, I don't know, 20 minutes before our broadcast here. So number 1 is a Porsche 911 GT2 RS of the latest iteration with a 638/84. And the number 2 car is an AMG GT Black Series with a 643/62. And the number 3 car is a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ with a 644/97. Okay.
Remember, that's fast.
Yeah, that is fast. Those are all fast. Okay, for reference, let's time out. For reference, a like an LMP Le Mans winning car does it in 520, 525. So,
but that's a weapon.
That's a weapon. These are street cars. Dude, these are street cars, sub-7s, man. But, back to the RS3. This is all Audi episode here. So, the RS3 does it in 740.47. 740.47 seconds. That's a minute.
Yeah.
That's a minute off the top lap. But, you're talking about a 4-door performance family sedan. And before...
So wait, what's it faster than?
Yeah, what's it faster than? I didn't do too much hustling here, okay? But I put together a list of cars that are in the 740 range. You know, like, what does it compete with? Say a 2005 Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 does it in 7 minutes and 40 seconds. A Mercedes McLaren SLR, you know, remember the gull-wing one with the, like, long hood from early 2000s?
Cheese-grater doors on the top of it. Looks all kind of funky. Jeremy Clarkson drove one.
Yeah, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. The SLS AMG, when it first came out, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. These are all cars that are the same time as the new RS3. The last generation Porsche 911 GT3. And finally, for the Americans, because we're proud of our American cars here, the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 is almost a second slower than the new RS3. A ZL1 Camaro, bro. That's 640 some horsepower. Rear wheel drive, full aero.
So does that mean my Audi's going to be 1 second slower than a 2022 RS3 in the Nürburgring? No. You sure?
Bro, it ran like a 17 at the drag strip.
No, the other one.
Oh, maybe. Let's take it, bro. Let's throw it on a plane, take it over there.
I bet, let's go.
2025 goals.
And on next episode from Realtalkvlogs, we will be live from the Nuremberg.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite like that, but alright, man. Yo, so I mean, I don't there's not a whole lot going on with Audi motorsport stuff that we haven't already covered with them going to Dakar. That hasn't happened yet. You know, they're not in.
I mean, we just got important Audi news, I feel like, in motorsporting, and that is Audi's and drifting and the wave that's coming that is going to screw everybody up.
Dude, all of the B5 people, not all of them, but a lot of the B5 people that I know are looking at old B5s, older chassis, just sitting around for, regardless of what engine's in them, going, oh, that could be fun. You know, we're going to see them.
Oh, it's happening.
You know.
It's happening.
I don't think it's going to happen with the S4s as much because the values are going back up, but
you're not going to see it on the perfect bodies, but you're going
Right.
to see the banked up, screwed up, was it a fender bender or smashed in the back end, you know, whatever. There's going to be some party S4s that are going to be out there and just be like, you did what? And it's not just going to be S4s though, dude. Here, it's going to be B6s. A B6 is still fully mechanical.
Yeah.
You're going to see B2s out there with O1E swaps in them.
But
Good shit. I'm just saying.
how
You're gonna
hard
see
would it be to
A6s.
slide an all road?
Yeah, all roads, Avants, A4 Avants. You'll eventually see B4s and C4s. Like, there's a big volume
Dude,
of cars.
Talking, Austin was saying about how solid his car has been, and you talking about the C4 chassis. Joel Francisco's, is it a 200 with the V10 swap in it that he just
Yeah, _Joel.
beats the piss out of all the time, and it just like, okay. And I mean, we might be seeing the highlight reel, but it seems like it runs pretty good. You know, that.
I think it's been a great donut and burnout.
So.
No. But I think, hey, Steve, man, this has been a fantastic upload, I think. I don't got anything else left for this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty fresh out, but yeah, I'm super excited for what 2022 has to offer. You know, if Austin manages to pull things together and comes out to Race Wars in I don't know, 5 weeks, I'm gonna be mad impressed. No pressure, bud, but mad impressed if you make it out.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm pretty sure he's got the drive to do it. I'll tell you what, first beer's on me.
Second beer's on me.
For sure.
Right
Somebody
on.
will get the pizza at the end of the night.
We always get pizzas. For anybody
Always.
that knows anything about Race Wars at Marion County, we always get pizzas. But until
Yes.
next time, we'll catch you on the flip.
Yeah. I'll see you later, Steve. Peace.